Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Pure Pathways for another episode from our Animals in the Quran series. Today, Umar and I will be talking about an insect that is mentioned twice in the Quran, an insect that has been terrorizing farmers since the beginning of time. Today, we'll be talking about the locust.
The locust is a creature that has been around for a long time and can be found mostly in the deserts of the Middle East and the Horns of Africa. These are mostly poor areas where people depend on growing their own food to survive. And even though locusts are about the size of a paperclip, they have been a nightmare to farmers because they can destroy large amounts of crops in a short period of time. They can move over large distances very quickly, eating everything in their path.
Locusts are mentioned in the story of Prophet Musa alayhi salam when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a swarm of them to punish the evil Pharoah and the Egyptians who were enslaving Bani Israel and disbelieving in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But that's a long story that we'll talk about another time, inshallah. For now, let's connect a recent discovery about locusts to how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned them in the Quran over 1400 years ago.
Today, scientists know a lot about locusts because of the invention of satellites and microcameras. When scientists studied desert locust colonies in Africa, they discovered that the locusts behave like one single body. One swarm of locusts can reach up to the size of an entire city and can have up to 80 billion locusts. That's more than the number of humans on the entire planet. If you saw a swarm flying towards you, it would look like dark clouds approaching, and it would cover the entire sky. But where do all those locusts come from?
Well, it all starts when a female locust digs a long tunnel underground. Each female lays up to 158 eggs. After 2 months, the eggs hatch, and the locusts remain living underground in the dark for years and years before they come to the surface. Before all this was discovered, over 1400 years ago, Allah compared us to locusts in Surah Al-Qamar, Ayah 7. خش عن أبصارهم يخرجون من الأجداث كأنهم جراد منتشر. They will come out of their graves with their eyes looking down like a large swarm of locusts spreading out.
What do locusts have to do with us and the Day of Judgment? This ayah describes our situation on the Day of Judgment when everyone will come out of their graves to be judged. Every single human being from the time of Prophet Adam alayhi salam to the end of time will be brought back to life. We will all come out of the ground and like one body, we will rush towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But why does Allah compare us coming out of our graves to these insects?
The kuffar of Quraysh used to make fun of the Prophet because he told them we would all come back to life after we die. They used to say, "Are you telling us after we die and our bodies become dust and bones, we will come back to life?"
In the ayah that Umar recited, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala compares us to locusts because the way they live underground for so long, then suddenly come out in huge numbers all at the same time, resembles the resurrection of human beings on the Day of Judgment. And just like the locusts come out of the ground in large groups and fly together in one direction, we will also emerge and rush towards our Creator. So the Quran made this comparison of billions of men and women coming out of their graves at a time when satellite technology didn't even exist. And scientists didn't even know that locusts used to live for years underground.
Subhanallah, it's crazy. Who would have thought that these insects are mentioned in the Quran?
Trust me, Umar, there are so many more animals and insects from the Quran that we're going to talk about. See you all next time in another episode where we will be talking about the mosquito. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. May all your pathways be pure. Assalamu alaikum.